Hello, and welcome to the Godly Playroom here in Wetaskiwin at First United Church. I'm Jackie, and I will be sharing our story with you today. I hope that you're excited. We're into the Easter season and into spring. Let's hope we have a wonderful spring. Are you ready to light our candle? I am. Do you notice? It's the brand new candle. Easter. We're in the Easter season. Once there was someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that the people began to follow him. And when they were with him, they wondered, "Who are you?" And so one time they asked him just that. And he said, "I am the light." We'll move the candle so that we're safe for today's story. So are you ready for today's story? We are in the season of Easter, and so our underlay is white, or our story area is white. In our first story of knowing Jesus in a new way, we remember the women who went to the tomb. There were the three Marys, along with others. Mary Magdalene seemed to lead the way. But there was Mary, the mother of James, and Mary, the mother of Jesus. The women were Mary Magdalene was not a mother, but she was a good and a strong friend. The women were taking the spices to complete the burial, and they wondered, how would they get inside? But when they arrived at the tomb, the stone had been rolled away. When Mary looked inside, she could see nothing. Well, nothing except for the white cloth that had covered his body. The woman went back to tell the others, but very few would believe them. Peter, being Peter, well, he jumped up and started to run towards the tomb. John decided to run too, and some say that he got there first and waited for Peter. When Peter arrived, the two of them went inside, and it was in his absence that they could feel his presence. John and Peter went running back to tell the others. Mary had come and was weeping outside the tomb. She heard a voice. "Woman, why are you weeping?" And she looked through her tears, and she saw two men dressed in white. And they said to her, "He has gone on. Tell the disciples to meet him in Galilee." She waited a time, and then she heard another voice. "Woman, why are you weeping?" And she turned and she looked through her tears, and she saw someone else whom she thought was the gardener. And she said to him, "Where have they taken him? I will go and get him." And then he said, "Mary." And when she heard her name, she knew that it was him. And she must have taken a step forward to hold him when Jesus said, "Stop. I have risen, but I have not yet ascended." And then he was gone. And Mary went to tell the others. Now I wonder if there's anything in your home that you might use to think about this story some more. I know if I was to think about the story here in the Godly Playroom, maybe I would find the Mother Mary or the risen Christ. But maybe there's something in your home that you would be able to find, that you could add something to the story.
I think I might go and get the cloth from Lazarus' story.
Oh, okay.
I guess because I told that story recently, right? And
Yeah.
thinking about Mary, another Mary and Martha,
Mm-hmm.
and the wrapping of that body and then the unwrapping.
That story is an interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different, right? Well, different and yet the same, because in both instances, the cloth is left and the body's gone.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. If I was taking something from home, what I would take.
I have an unusual home because I have a lot of Godly Play stuff there too. And lately in the middle of the night, every time I wake up, I've been smelling the myrrh, which is in my bedroom, and the cat or the dog seems to drag it off the shelf and be fascinated by it too. And I think about the spices that have been brought.
I had thought about the spices, but I don't know what ones I would bring. Well, I wonder what you would maybe want to do in response to today's story. If you would like, you could take some time now to gather some things that you would like to do in response, and then perhaps gather something for feast too, so that we can head right into feast after our response time. Welcome back. Today I thought I would do some collage using some fabric that I found at the church. And so I had been thinking about the cloth that Mary noticed when she looked inside the tomb, and there was, well, nothing except for some cloth that had wrapped his body. We have to remember that Mary and her friends were in the midst of grief. They had lost a very dear friend. And sometimes you're in kind of a really dark place. Before something changes. And you learn to see things differently. The women went to the tomb and the stone had been rolled away. I sometimes wonder what stones or things hold us from seeing things in new ways. Interestingly, this piece of fabric I just pulled out has some women on it. It fits for my picture today. I wonder how it felt as the women went and had their story to share, and not very many people would believe them. How does it feel when someone doesn't believe you and you know what you've seen is right? Wow. When John and Peter came, in his absence, they could feel his presence. I wonder if you've ever known someone to be there with you even though they weren't. Or not in the way you knew them to be there. Jesus had died on the cross, but his followers were experiencing him in a new and different way. I wonder if we're open to those experiences. Well, I think I'm going to start to gather up some of my things here. And I wonder if you have gathered your things for feast. And once I've cleaned up, then we can get ready for feast. Hello and welcome back. I hope you found something for your feast. I know that I have. But before we have something to eat, first I need to clean my hands. And we need to pray. Loving God, we thank you that you are with us at all times and in all places. Amen. I didn't bring my water. Okay. I kind of got stuck when I was reading this story on what it would feel like when someone doesn't believe you. When you've told them really what you've seen and someone doesn't believe you, and what that feels like, and that's pretty tough. But I know that no matter what, God believes in us, and that just helps me to know that we're not alone, even when we feel all those feelings of maybe frustration or disappointment in others. And that's just where I kind of got stuck in that story for a while, was just what would it feel like for all those women who just, no one would listen to them, and they had much to share. So that's where I got stuck. I wonder if there was anywhere where you got kind of left in the story. I always kind of think, well, Peter, you're just Peter. You run after things and just go for it. I'm not that kind of person. I'd probably be the last one to get to the two. I would hope to believe that I might be one of the ones that would believe the women and go out of curiosity. But Jesus was gone, and they had to learn to experience him in new and different ways. These Easter stories always give me lots to think about. Lots and lots to think about. Maybe we should take some time to really think about them sometime. Well, I thank you that we could have this time together and share this story together. And we'll be in the Easter season, I think it's 6 weeks. So we have lots more to hear. I think I'm gonna clean up feast. And we're going to put out the candle. Ooh, sorry, it's my wax. The candle is just, the light is just in this one place and this one time now. But when we change the light, it can spread out to many times and many places and meet you where you are. Thank you for taking your time to be with us today, and I hope that we can see you together soon. Bye for now.